Zack Cox Dakota Randall outside Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, where the Patriots are preparing to take on the Buffalo Bills in the regular season finale for both teams. Obviously, important playoff stakes in this game for both sides, but the big story during the lead up to this game, this is the first game the Buffalo Bills will be playing since Damar Hamlin, their second-year safety, collapsed on the field in Cincinnati last Monday night. All positive reports during the last couple of days on Hamlin's condition, which I know teams or players from both sides certainly were encouraged by, but the scene at this game, it's going to be something else. So we talked to Matthew Slater, Patriots longtime special teams captain, the other day. He's been playing for 15 seasons, played a lot of games, said the environment in this game he expects to be unlike anything he or his teammates have ever experienced.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think for sure the fans are going to be really loud and really up for this game, and I'm sure the Bills are too. And as far as the conversation surrounding, are the Bills going to come out like a freight train and just roll over the Patriots? I think that's certainly on the table. I think that might just be more about how good the Bills are compared to how average the Patriots are. But I do think it's kind of interesting to point out that sometimes this thing can go both ways. I was looking it up earlier after the marathon bombing in Boston. The Bruins lost their first game after. The Red Sox almost lost. Took a Daniel Nava home run in the 8th inning. I was looking up at the Ryan Shazier injury for the Steelers. They won the game when Shazier got injured. They won the next game too. Both those games were close. So this situation isn't a perfect comparison to those. But I do think sometimes this thing can kind of go one way or the other. And I do think it's interesting that over the last few days, the sentiment around this whole story has gone from one of sort of grieving and the Bills kind of maybe just being angered or upset about what happened to Hamlin towards now more of a celebration that he's doing well. We saw that at the Buffalo Sabres game last night. It was a total shift in tone, I think, from what it was earlier in the week. So maybe that's different today. But I fully expect the Bills to come out with a lot of energy early on. Will it sustain throughout the game? We'll have to see, but it's definitely a storyline.
It certainly seemed like both teams were able to return to some measure of normalcy in the last couple of days, because it was basically, Thursday, where it really seemed to turn from a kind of scary situation, which it obviously still is, to a situation where Hamlin did seem to be making steady progress and everybody was able to shift their focus a little bit to the game itself.
Yeah, because for a while we weren't sure if this game was going to be played as scheduled, and then it seemed like as the news really took a turn for the positive for Hamlin, it became clear that the Bills and Patriots both wanted to play this game.
Yep, and the Bills and Patriots both need this game for playoff qualification and playoff seeding. The Patriots win this game, they are in the playoffs. If they lose, they need losses by both Miami and Pittsburgh in order to claim that final wild card spot. The Bills in the playoffs regardless. They're already AFC East champs, but with the way that the NFL restructured this schedule in this playoff structure, because they were not able to complete that Buffalo-Cincinnati game last week, if the Bills lose this game and then end up playing the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, that game would be at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. If Buffalo wins, they can no longer earn that top seed, but if they do win today, a potential Bills-Chiefs AFC Championship would be at a neutral site. So this is not a game where the Bills, motivated as they're going to be regardless for the whole Hamlin situation, we're not going to see backups playing in this game for Buffalo, because this still is an important game for them for their playoff structure here.
Right, and also for the Patriots, there's a scenario in which if they do make the playoffs, they come right back here next weekend. I believe if the Patriots win and the Bengals lose, that Patriots come back to Buffalo next weekend, and then if the Patriots get into the playoffs by virtue of Miami and Pittsburgh both losing, they come back here to Buffalo next weekend. So yeah, a lot riding on this game. And I'm just fascinated to see how the Patriots play in this game, because despite everything throughout the year, how disappointing the season has been, all the ups and downs, all the stuff we've talked about, the fact that they're in this situation right now to finish the season with a winning record, to clinch a spot in the playoffs, it's a huge opportunity for them, and I think they can win this game. I wouldn't pick them, but I do think they can. But again, like you said, it could just come down to how motivated the Bills are.
Yeah, and certainly the recent history in this series has favored Buffalo pretty heavily. The Patriots have only won once against the Bills in the post-Tom Brady era. They've lost each of their last 3 matchups by 12 points, by 30 points, and by 14 points a couple of weeks ago back in Foxborough. I think the keys to this game, the overall kind of outlook on this game, pretty similar to the one that these teams played a couple of weeks ago. Going to need to see whether Mac Jones and that Patriots offense can score against this Buffalo defense. They only scored 1 touchdown in their first meeting. That was on that Marcus Jones screen pass that went for about 50 yards for a score. And can this Patriots secondary, which again is going to be shorthanded, they're going to have no Jalen Mills in this game, no Jack Jones in this game. The Jack Jones suspension is something that we're going to be certainly hoping to ask Bill Belichick about after this game. But again, shorthanded cornerback group against one of the better passing attacks in the NFL. Patriots have had a really hard time defending Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen over the last couple of years. Can they do it today with a shorthanded group? That's going to be a big key to watch here.
Yeah, and I think you have to assume that Allen and the Bills are going to put up points in the high 20s, if not much higher than that. And so the question is, can the Patriots, score higher than that? There's been no indication that they can. I forget what the stat is, what the Patriots are when opposing teams score more than 17 points.
In the Mac Jones era, they have not beaten an opponent that scored 25 points. And I believe they've only beaten an opponent that scored 20 points once, and that came last season. So they have not proven to be a team that's capable of winning a shootout.
Right, so has that changed today? Hard to see it. It's possible. But one thing also to keep in mind, I think this was in Mike Reese's Sunday Notes column, that if Josh Allen gets a win today, it will give him 6 wins over Belichick and the Patriots, which would tie him with Peyton and Manning as the only 2 quarterbacks with 6 wins over Belichick during the Belichick era in New England. So yeah, what started off for Josh Allen as a lot of embarrassing performances against the Patriots has really sort of gone the other way now, and now he kind of owns the Patriots.
Yep, the tone of this rivalry certainly has shifted in the last couple of years, and again, expecting an electric, emotional atmosphere and environment here today in Orchard Park. Kickoff is set for 1 p.m. here at Highmark Stadium.